Hi everyone, welcome to Stash to Treasure. This is, I think, the third week. This is an open collab hosted by four people. They're going to be linked down below, and I don't want to get anybody's names wrong, so I'll list them here. In the video, and then I'll also link them down below. So anyway, this week is January 27th, and it is scrapbook paper, collage paper, file folders, and binders. Well, I'm going to lean more towards collage paper and scrapbook paper because I have had this Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper called Aviary sitting on the top of a drawer unit, and I've never opened it. It says 6 yards. It looks to be about 8 inches wide. Let's just see. No, less than that. It is that 6? 6 inches. So it's 6 by 6 yards. 6 inches by 6 yards. So let's pull it out because like I said, I've never opened it. And then, let me show you this first before I get ahead of myself. Okay, so collage paper is very thin, like tissue paper. Look how pretty though. Oh my gosh. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. All right, I need to come up with something. I'm going to use this for sure. I have to figure out, how do you put this down on anything without tearing it, or do you tear it and make it like collage? I think it's called collage paper because it's already got words and music notes and numbers and birds and birdie darling, across the ocean bird. You know, this image right here is just, it's all gorgeous. I love it. 6 yards of it, yeah. I'm not going to put it back in the plastic, but I'll put it back in here to keep it from getting dusty. And then I thought for a different collab, it was Crack the Vault, which is also to use things up that we have. I pulled out this Prima paper pad called My Sweet, and I've had this for several years, but it's still on scrapbook.com. I don't know if that's where I got it, but I just happened to find it. So anyway, I had made these very simple tags, not decorated yet, because I don't know how I'm going to use them. And this set of 4x4 cards, 4 look like this, only on 2 different color backgrounds, and 4 look like this, only on 2 different color backgrounds. And then the paper's also on the inside. But here's the thing, I don't have envelopes for them. So I talked about in that video, I'm going to pull out more of this paper and use the floral patterns on the outside of the envelopes and whatever's on the inside, which is collage-y too. So I could use it either way. So I'll pick which one I want of those because I need 8. So I'm going to make 8 envelopes for 4x4 cards. And then I have, and you need 7x7 to do that. And this is 8x8. So that'll work out well, I think, for this. And then from making those cards, I had all these little strips of scrapbook paper left. And I thought I'd do some strippy card bases or something, or ATC bases maybe. Maybe I'll get a head start on something for next week, which I won't say yet. But yeah, so these are double-sided, so I can flip them over and stuff. A couple are a little longer than others. So that's my plan. I just need to figure out what I'm going to use this for and how I'm going to put it down on something because it's very thin. So pretty though. All right, I will be back. Be sure to check out the other participants. If you want to play along, use the hashtag #StashToTreasure. It's in the title as well as in the description box. And if you click on that, you should be able to find everyone that's participating each Friday in January and February with different prompts. Again, this week is scrapbook paper, collage paper, file folders. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. And binders. So I went file folders. This came to mind. I got this in the mail, right? It had 2 sheets of coupons in it. This is one of the grocery stores I go to, and it has this doubled over. So I thought, well, what if I just white this out and cover it in this? But this isn't really wide enough, but it might be all right if I do that, or just get out a sheet of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. You know what, that's not even long enough because I measured this is 15. If I open this up and open this up, this is 15 inches. But I could make a smaller one with 12 by 12 paper and just have a smaller pocket, right? So I was thinking something like that would be, it's not a file folder, but it would work like a folder, right? So covering something like that might be an option, or making one similar, because I thought that was pretty cool. And they just had this, I tore it pulling it apart, but they had that tacked down with like double-sided tape or something. Yeah, because it's sticky here still. And then they just had like little glue dots here, removable, to keep it closed in the mail. So that got my brain going, and that's repurposing junk mail too, right? And then of course I had some bags from prescriptions, but I'm not going to do bags this week. All right, everyone. So it's going to be collage paper, scrapbook paper envelopes that we'll do, and scrappy strip card bases or something. I think probably card bases. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see what I come up with. I'll be back. Okay, everybody. So here's what I think I'm doing. I took some pre-cut. I already had these made 5 by 3 3/4 white mats, and I took all those little strips and I made 2 card bases. Now I have to trim them because they're a little off, so I'm just going to bring in this little trimmer I have from, it's not available, but from Stampin' Up. I'm going to turn it over, and should be around 3 3/4. I might have to trim it smaller than that. Just cut off those little bits, and same on this side, 3 3/4. Now, this particular one, I was down to these papers, and you'll see I have an extra bit here. Now, that said, I just cut this for another thing. I think I'm just going to cut that off, though. It's about 1/4 inch. Not quite. So this piece will be a little bit smaller. And I have some pre-made, these are crumb cake by Stampin' Up, but like a craft paper. Actually, I think this one is going to go like this, because this pattern's along the bottom. And see, I didn't quite get the top. Actually, I'm going to trim that down a little bit too. I don't like that, because I'm going to put collage paper on top of this one. I don't know if I will the other one. So that's going to go like that, except that I did cut down another 8 by 8 paper to 5 1/4 by 4. And that's going to be our card mat, I think. Maybe. I'll see how that looks. I have a little bit still right there that's not even, but it's okay. I'm going to distress this edge first, and possibly this one too, because they're white on the back. And then I'm going to overlay this part with the collage paper. I know I have mixed medium, matte medium somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So I haven't decided yet which. I think I really like those birds, but I don't know if I can. I don't think I can fit them all on there. So maybe just like this bird, or just this one. I think I might just do this part, and then you'll see some of the green and stuff coming through. So that's my plan, and then we'll find a sentiment. But let me cut the other one down first as well. And the same thing, so I'm going to turn it over and get right at 3 3/4 first, and then we'll see if we have to trim it once we look at the other side. This one, I only have like one little one sticking out over here. I have glue on my hand, sorry. Sorry for the noise too about this. I guess that's okay. This one, I had other size strip. Now see, I have a little bit on this edge too that didn't cover, just a sliver, like a 1/16 of an inch. This was what I was calling the bottom, but this one I might make a card this way, and so maybe we'll still do the color. I'm going to cut this down a little bit too, a little bit more, because there's one in the middle that didn't quite go all the way up to that top. I like to use this trimmer for getting small edges off, because my big one, I somehow tend to get it crooked and all that kind of jazz. So now the next thing we're going to do is, actually we'll wait and distress it after. I want to show you a tip about cutting this paper too. This is the Prima paper I showed you, which is an 8x8 pad, but it has this tip strip up here, and the trimmer I have, let me get one of these out again. This is pretty. This paper is so pretty. It really is. So anyway, and I've had it for a while, and you know what? This is the year of use it. So to get 2 5 1/4 by 4 card mats, you know, my trimmer goes to 6 inches. So I don't want to do this, right? So depending on which way you want this pattern to go, because it's directional, let's see. What I did is I cut this to 4, because I'm having it be, I'm using this side, but if you wanted it to be long ways, you could do it this way. Anyway, I did the 4 and then the 4, and that way I don't have to, I mean, this has an arm, but I'm lazy. I don't want to open it up. And that way you just automatically get that strip. And then I did 5 1/4. Now I have these pieces, and they're going to be used for something else for sure, like possibly an ATC. So if you want an A2 size card mat, that's an easy way to get it from. That one got a little off. I went too fast probably. So 4. Yeah, I probably had the paper on here crooked. I just had a little bit of the top strip showing there still. And the easy way to get that out of the trimmer slot is take a little scrap of paper and just go down like that. Okay. All right. And I save these because I have been known to stamp on them, like I did for those other cards I showed you. But also, here's a butterfly I could cut out, or just have a decorative strip going across like this, maybe somewhere without this on it. And I have used them on tags and stuff too. So then these are, let's see, I think they're a little bigger than an ATC. So an ATC is 2 1/2. So I'm going to probably use these for ATCs. 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, right? And I could use either side that way. And then let's do the other ones. I'm going to do them as well. Let's do the 3 1/2 first. Clearly didn't cut that good. And you could use them as ATCs, or you could use them in a pocket letter. Yeah, I like that they have that. Or I could even use it on these extra 2 pinks that I have here, and for a card mat, and just put paper around it. So we have those 2, and 3 1/2, and 2 1/2. And this is a fairly, you wouldn't necessarily want to do it this way for thin paper, but this is a nice sturdy paper. Oops, see, it bent. It bent. Don't bend on me. There we go. So that piece I might not be able to reuse. And sometimes I look at the pattern on this side because I want to see which end I want to cut from. Like this has more of a whole design, so I'll cut this bottom piece off, and there we go. So that's how I do it. And then, like I said, you could use this as a decorative strip on something else, either side. And look, I have more strips, which this one I'm probably gonna toss this. Let me rip that little thing off. But these other ones I can use to do more scrappy strip cards, except they're different size strips. Anyway, that's just a little extra there. So now I have these, which I can use either side of for pocket letters or just trading cards, and we'll see. That's for another day. But today we're using our scrappy strips, and we're going to collage this one with collage paper. I haven't decided if I want to do that. I think I'm just going to find a sentiment or something and put it on this one to make just a card without that, but I will distress the edges of both these pieces. This one's still a little uneven, I see, down here on this edge, so I'm going to cut a little more off of that. Just a sliver. And maybe just a tiny sliver on this side even. Okay. Let me see. Okay, that looks pretty good. I might do this one vertically, like this, and the pattern's all over there, and then have a sentiment in an oval or something here. So that's what I plan to do with that one. And then let's put these aside too. And then this one, we're going to put the collage paper on, and and then we'll distress around the edges of both of these, and that will become the card base for this one. So let's get messy. I need a brush. Let's see if I have one. I have this one. It's not very wide, but let me see. I'll be right back. Okay, I guess I will use this. I have this thing, but I think it puts too much on, and it says not for shellac or lacquer. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm just going to use this Mod Podge matte and put it all over this base, which I didn't get cut perfectly, but it's okay because we're going to cover it with the collage paper, right? So I want to get this all over this. And so I'm trying to do a little more mixed media kind of stuff, but we'll see. I'm not an expert, you know. I mostly got it as previous Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I got more into the stamps and the dies and stuff, and I love those still, but I also like getting a little messy sometimes. All right. I think I get that. My mom used to be able to paint and stuff really well. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to try and get that bird fairly close to the top edge there, and then smooth it down. This is it's like a shiny tissue paper, or maybe a little bit thicker than a tissue paper. So I'm actually going to take scissors and cut, because I don't want to tear into too much of this pattern over here. And I see that it's pulling up on the corner, so I'm going to add a little more medium there. And I like that, most of that post office word up there. So let's kind of roll that back up and put it in the tube so I don't like spill water or get Mod Podge all over it. And then let me cut down here. You know what? maybe I can just tear that one. I don't want to tear into it too much. And this one, yeah. All right, I'll cut it off too. I usually do that after I get the top layer on, but I want it small enough that I can just go over it with like a nail file. Okay, and this one has this beautiful bird, so I'll save that. Maybe we'll use that on the other card after all. All right, I need a little more Mod Podge under here. That's a little too much more to get those edges. And then, let's see. All right, let's go ahead and put some on top. And then we're going to let it dry. Well, we'll check and see if I want to use that other bird on that other scrappy strip card base. You see I have a little bit of the green color coming through from the scrappy strips on this one. So it's like double texture, right? It looks like a robin there to me. What do you think? Probably getting far too much on this. That's a problem I have. I am not a good judge on how much of this stuff to use. I have a tendency to not know when to stop, you know? That's where I'm going to stop though. All right, I'm going to go, well, let's see. Before I do that, let's see if I want this bird. If I do it that way or this way. Nope, I think I'm going to save this bird for something else. I'm just not feeling that. Let me go off air and clean this up a little bit and dry this, and then I'll be back. Okay, everyone, so I really wasn't feeling this paper for background for this. I went ahead and dried it. I actually added a little bit more Mod Podge because I didn't have enough up at this corner, so I just went over it, and see, this even has a little bubble still. It's okay. I'm gonna go with it. But I didn't like how that looked because there's no pink in this paper. And the background is mostly green, so I'm going to put it on a piece of Stampin' Up! Soft Succulent cardstock. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to distress it with Vintage Photo to bring in some of the brown from the bird, but there's a lot of black in here. Or maybe iced spruce. I think I'm going to go try it with iced spruce and see how that works. Oops. Oh, I have that on there with tape. I was like, uh-oh, I pulled the bottom up. Oh, well, it helps if you put the right side on it, right? I don't know. Sometimes these don't really stay. There. And then I brought in a stamp and die set from Stampin' Up! It's current, I believe, and it's called Framed Florets. And for this card, I'm going to use just a little reminder that you are loved. And I thought we'd have that go right across here after distressing it. And I have this little strip I'm hoping I can stamp on it. I think I'm going to stamp it in black, but then put another piece of the Soft Succulent behind it to back it, or a piece of the crumb cake. I'm not quite sure yet. And then this one, there's a die in this die set. There's several of them, but I just used this, but I didn't realize that cut out the frame separate from this. So I think I'm going to stamp in Rococo Rose, which is close to this pink color, but I also think I'm going to go ahead and ink this with Rococo Rose all around it, and then have like a pink frame on here, or maybe I'll stamp the words in Soft Succulent. And this one I do think I'll distress with the Vintage Photo. So that's the plan, because this is really white, but the background could be white or cream, right? So that's the plan for that one. And also I was originally kind of thinking of using one of these tags, but if I haven't it, I could do that on this one. Hang on. but this one is, because it's horizontal, I mean, I could do something like that and have a sentiment go across here, but I wanted to use wishes for a beautiful birthday on this one in the middle of this oval, like this. So that's the plan for that. We'll see how it goes. Because the best made plans are made to change, correct? Alright, so first thing is, and I brought out Stampin' Up! Soft Succulent with Cocoa Rose ink because I don't know what I'm using it. First thing is, we're going to distress this in Iced Spruce. I have used this, but I don't remember. Alright, it just gives like a gentle green around the edge, which I prefer to the white edge. I think that's fine. Okay, good. I was a little worried about how that would look, especially with the Mod Podge shiny. It's matte, but it's still shiny, and look, it does crease. What am I doing wrong, guys? I put some on the bottom, and then I laid down the paper, and I tried to smooth it over, and then I put some on the top. Maybe I shouldn't be putting it on the bottom? I don't know. Just adds, you could use any green. There's other greens. There's another one, what is it called? Cracked Pistachio. I have like the old original set. I don't have any of the new colors. But you know what? I have enough colors. Because I also could do this with the Stampin' Up! Inks, and it would be fine too. And I have some cubes in the regular Distress colors, not the Distress ink, not the Distress oxide. And I'm going to go around the edge of this one too. In fact, I think this one I'm kind of going to go like this, maybe. Yeah, maybe. As you see, it darkens it just a little bit, but I'm also going to go around the edges first, just to make it pop a little more. Then I don't think I'm going to distress the crumb cake bottom, the base, at all for now. Alright, let's just go around the edges here. Alright, let's call that it for now. And pull that off. Alright, now let's stamp first before we do anything more. Yeah, I like that better. Oops, sorry, I hope you could hear me. I forgot to put my microphone back on me. Alright, I'm going to try my best to stamp on this 1/2 inch scrap of white cardstock and get it straight. We shall see. We shall see. Not the best at getting things straight. But that's not bad, except it got a little blobby on there. So let's try again. Now watch, I won't have a blobby, but it'll be crooked. You know what? There's something on there. Hang on. On that R. I got it. Now let's try it again. Try and ink it again and see. Maybe it was off the ink pad. Alright, let's try that now. I think I got it crooked. I did. There's always a second side though. There's always a second side. And there's 2 halves of it. That one's good. We're going with that one. We're going with that one, everyone. Let me clean this off real quick. I just have a wipe over here. Okay, so let me snip that. And oh my, I'm using scissors. Yikes. Alright, and then I'm going to, I'm definitely going to back that. Let me see if I have a scrap of, ooh, I might. Look at that. I have a scrap of that that is, let me clean this up here first, or I'll have iced spruce all over everything. I thought I had a paper towel here too. I don't know what I did with it. Maybe this is it. Okay, there we go. Nope, here it is. All right, it fell down. So I think this is just right? But I'm kind of thinking, well, I was thinking I would edge it, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to glue that down. In fact, let me glue it down first, and then I'll cut. And maybe I'll use, this is art glitter glue poured into little bottles that I got like a 10 or 20 pack off Amazon several years ago. I don't have an Amazon affiliate link yet, but I'm thinking about it to put my favorite products out there. We shall see. And I shouldn't push that down because there. Okay. Now I am going to bring in, because I can't cut a straight line, this trimmer. And I'm just going to get it about 1/8 of an inch. We'll try that. Beautiful. Doesn't that look nice? Let me take this little spongy thing. Oop, see the tape just tore off the... Ay. Stay. And then this could go to anyone. You just want to kind of make their day and remind them that they are loved. But I think I'm going to bump that up. All right, so let's glue this onto here. And let's see, I have some Mod Podge off the mat. Sorry for the scratchy noise. That's the only thing I don't like about these, is you get that kind of scratchy noise going across the cards. But it's all good. And that's crooked, of course, so let's pull it up before this glue dries really fast, so you have to kind of be careful. It's still a little over that way too far, huh? Here we go. I'm going to turn it upside down and rub it like this to make sure that glue adheres and it lays flat. I need a little more under the corners, I think. That's pretty good. And then we'll glue this down. Now you could add texture to the green piece or to the front of the card base, but I'm not going to. I think we have enough going on with the card strips in the background and then the collage paper, which is beautiful. And it saved me from having to stamp things like that on it, right? Although that's fun too. Now I just need some bump it up thingies. And do I want to use, you know what? I found this in my stash, and it's pretty old. It's Scotch brand mounting tape. I think I got it Dollar Tree, but I think that's about the right width. But you know what? I don't trust the adhesive on it right now, so I'm going to add some glue also on both sides of it to make sure it stays on. I don't want somebody getting a card telling them how much they're loved and having the sentiments fall off, you know? And if you hear banging or anything in the background, it is my neighbor's house being rebuilt, a new house being built where his old, smaller one was. And there's a lot of movement of big boards and roof things and stuff like that. They have a lot of the walls up now outside. Let's see, placement. I could have rounded the corners. That would have made it pretty too. I think right there, so we can still see Birdie Darling and Post Office Telegram, but see how easy that pulled up. All right, push that down. Now, I don't know, maybe just some bling? Bling bling. Yeah, these retired gems in, oh, there's a sheet in here. Oh, shoot, I just partially pulled one off. Let me pull the whole pack out. These are on a separate piece here, but I accidentally pulled some off up here. And you know what? They will probably be all right. They're a darker green, but it's okay. I'm going to try and get these two that came off here. There. And maybe another one. Oops. Right here. And then one more, which I need a dab of glue on, I can tell. And I'll put that one over here, sort of in the middle. I think that's all I'm going to do with that. So there's card one. I will have to put a piece of, what I'll probably do is put another piece of soft succulent in here with a white on it, and just go around the edges with the ice spruce. So let's call that one done. And with our strips of cardstock, our collage paper from Tim Holtz. So let's do the other one. And I need a brush to do this. This is like a Teflon sheet, by the way. I think I got it on a roll, but I only used one part of it, and I don't know where the rest is right now. So we're going to stamp in, what did I say, Rococo Rose, I think. Actually, let's stamp in soft succulent, because we're going to have Rococo Rose around the edge here. So let's do this stamp first. And this is Wishing You a Beautiful Birthday. Beautiful for sure. My daughter has a birthday coming up pretty soon, actually. Now let's figure out how. I'm actually going to go around the edges of this with the, got to get rid of that. I might as well just toss it. With the iced spruce. Just lightly. I could have also used the soft succulent, but since I have the sponge here for iced spruce, it's pretty close in color. And we'll just do that. Sorry if I'm off screen. Now I have to figure out how I'm going to color this Rococo Rose, which is a retired Stampin' Up! Color. I could use alcohol marker. Let's try that. This is the light Rococo Rose alcohol marker, like Stampin' Blends, retired. And I think that'll, oh, that might be too pink, huh? And we'll see. It might fade once it dries. It is fading a little bit. I didn't want to use the dark. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Maybe I'll vintage photo around the edges of this to make it, or on it, to make it look a little more aged, because it's a lot brighter than that. I'll tell you what, I really can't wait till this house next door is done, because there's a muddy mess and just noise. How's your weather, guys? Here it is. Yesterday was beautiful. It was sunny. It was up to 45 Fahrenheit. Just a gorgeous day. And they were over there from like 6:15 in the morning till 3:30 or something. I think I'm gonna let that soak in for a second, and then I do think I'm going to use the vintage photo and just edge it a little bit, make it a little distressed, carefully. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to do it like this, maybe in spots like that. I don't know. So it's pink, but it's a little more brown pink, not so bright, you know. I think I like that, just like that. What do you think? I think that's perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but you know. And maybe go around the edges in here a little bit. And around the edge here, just to make sure no white is showing through. And then, I think that's going to be, it's still brighter than the background, but not too bad, right? All right. Let's put this down. See, I think I'm just going to glue it right down, because I don't want to try and bump that up, or do I? One way we could do it is die cut another 2 of those and glue them together. And same with this, but do I feel like doing that? Not really. We'll make it even, so that, or level, so that it can mail better, right? Because we already have some layers on it. I do like to bump things up, but I'm not going to this time. And this one, you know, when I put it like this originally, but I kind of like that. It makes it like a border over there, right? So that's what we're going to do here. Is that straight? Most of the way. Most of the way straight, and then we'll just glue this down too. I'm going to squeeze this out. Uh-oh. I had to check my message popping in there. I think, what's today? I don't think I'm supposed to have a package today, so I'll have to see what that is in a minute when we're done. How dare they interrupt our crafting here, right? All right, so now let's put that onto that background. It does have a little sticking over here. I'm not going to worry about it. Not going to worry about it. So this one we didn't use collage paper. We just used scrappy strips of scrapbook paper. Now the one thing we haven't done yet is envelopes for those other cards, and actually probably just use plain white envelopes for these two, because they're A2 sized cards. I think that's crooked. I think, wow. Maybe. I really wonder sometimes if my cutter, because the bottom looks straight, the sides look more straight, the top does not. So I'm gonna come up here and, yeah, see if it's level up there. It should be level here, but it is not. So let's see if that looks better. Yes. And then this side as well. Just put the shorter edge to the bottom, and then there we go. I think that looks better. Much better. All right. And then we'll put some bling on too. I have to always make sure my card is going to open properly. Now I think what I'm going to do for this one, we might put some shiny bling on too, but you know what? I have a lot of small paper flowers, and I'm kind of thinking I need like some paper flowers here, and or maybe here. I don't know. Let me see what I have. And Oh, boy, I just cannot get things on straight. Sorry, I'm off camera. I did get that a little bit off there. There. Yeah, I'm thinking, or maybe here and here for the flowers. So let me see what I have, and I'll be back once again. This is getting pretty long. It's so hard to make decisions. Here's what I found. I have a few of these little ones left, which are sort of pink and white with pink. I could cluster them, and I think there's 6 in there, 5 or I think there's 6, so that might be good, and I could finish the pack up. And these are Prima. These ones are Lola. I don't know if any of these are still available because I've had them for a while. Oh, I have another pack of them right there. Or I have these 49th and Market. What's that say? Pixie Petals. Handmade Flowers. This one's in Ballet Slipper. And this one's in Parchment. But because the flowers back here are pink, I think that pink matches better. I might go with those. I don't know. It'd be nice to finish a pack of these up, but I think I like these better. Let's try them. I can always change my mind again, right? And I think there's 6 of these too. So I'm kind of thinking a cluster of them up here. The noise. And a cluster down here. Oops, there's an extra one. Oh my goodness, do you hear that? How awful. I didn't get this on perfectly straight either. But I think I like that. So let's do that. And maybe we'll just have this solo guy here. There we go. That's it. We're using that one up. I'll get these off the desk. I could have done a mix of the parchment in those, but I kind of like the pink on it. Everything looks crooked, doesn't it? Now that I'm looking in the screen. I maybe should use a glue dot. I really just want that there because there's a little bit of a see-through to the back part. And I could have bumped up just the frame. Yeah, I don't know. A glue dot would also be a good way to put these down. That little, I don't know what that thing is called. A little bead in the middle. Should know what it's called, shouldn't I? Oh, and this one it's popping through. I guess it had a stem on it at one point. I don't know. Push that in there. I think they look cute. And let's see, this one's on the bottom. And we still might put a few gems on because I need to use those up too. And it just needs a little sparkle. Even though it's like natural looking this way, I don't know, just feeling like a little sparkle's needed, right? Maybe. All right, let's bring those in. I have those 3. The pink is too bright, but we'll use these darker green. And we'll put one here in this white spot. Maybe a little one up here. Maybe right over that eye. And then I think we'll put one right here. Here we have our triangles. Alrighty. So that is it for my projects. Now I still need to make those envelopes, but you've probably seen envelope punch board and used before for the other cards. So all I'm going to do is cut several of these that have not the rabbits, this kind of pattern on them, down to 7 by 7. So I'll have some more strips actually, And there's 5 of each pattern, so I have 5 there. Well, I would if I started at the right sheet. 5 there, and then 3 more of this because I have 8 cards. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that off camera, but I'll try and show them in a separate video or something at some point. So that's my scrapbook paper, collage paper, using up stuff in my stash still. Project for Stash to Treasure for, what is it, January 27th? Yes, 27th. And I hope you enjoyed. Come back again if you did, and please be sure to use the hashtag Stash to Treasure and find everyone else participating in the collab. And thank you so much to the hosts. There are 4 of them. Like I said, they'll be linked below, and I should have had them in the video earlier as well. Take care, everyone. Have a great February coming up, and we'll see you next Friday. Well, maybe before then for something else. Bye for now.